Arman Tsarukyan is out in the main event against Islam Makhachev. He called Dana White in the middle of the night and said, I have incredible back pain. There's no way I can fight tomorrow. So the UFC did what the UFC does. They scrambled and they figured it out. They called Islam and said, you lost Arman. We want to call Moicano. What do you think? He said, I don't care. Get me anybody. Let's do it. They called Renato Moicano. And they said, here's your chance to fight for a title. You just need to cut 1 additional pound. If you didn't know, you get 1 pound allowance. As long as it's not a title fight, you get an extra pound. In this case, Renato Moicano was fighting at 155 pounds, so he could weigh 156 versus Beneil Dariush. But because this is a title fight, he has to weigh 155. Renato Moicano's response to the UFC was, yes, I'll do it. I'm going to try to cut that extra pound, but if I'm having trouble with it, I'm not doing it. And props to him, because he understands, while this is a title fight and it is a huge opportunity, going out there, sucked out dry and putting on a horrific performance wouldn't do him any favors. But it all worked itself out. Renato did make 155 pounds. Islam accepted that replacement, and we have a new main event at UFC 311. We have Islam Makhachev defending his belt against Renato Moicano. So let's go ahead and break that fight down. No surprise to anybody, I'm going to lead with the title here. We're picking Islam Makhachev. He should dominate this fight. All the respect in the world to Renato Moicano for stepping up, for doing this. Obviously, he's going to get paid handsomely, but it's still a very scary thing to do on short notice. On the Renato side, this isn't that different, right? He was fighting an incredible grappler before. He's fighting an incredible grappler now. The difference is the wrestling. While Beneil Dariush had incredible jiu-jitsu, an incredible takedown defense, the offense wasn't quite what you would expect. So Renato was likely coming in here planning on taking Beneil Dariush down and working. That will not happen in this matchup. Islam Makhachev is quite literally the best wrestler in this division. Islam Makhachev isn't going to be taken down by Renato Moicano. If somehow Renato can keep this standing, well, then he's going to try to pot shot his way to victory, which also will not work. This will be a mauling. Islam Makhachev is going to run through Renato Moicano. The good news for Renato is people, us, the fans, love when this happens. We love when somebody steps up. Look at all the aura that was gained by Dan Ige stepping up on a few hours' notice. And Renato Moicano can be in a similar situation. Sure, he could try to make this competitive, and it may be. Look at the first Islam versus Volkanovski fight. That was somewhat short notice, not quite to this extreme, but that threw Islam off. And it changed those circumstances. We could be in a weird situation where Islam got no sleep whatsoever, stressed about this. And now today is kind of a hectic day as well. And he's not going to quite be himself on Saturday. Or we could end up in a situation where Islam, the pound-for-pound #1 fighter on the planet, comes forward, immediately gets a takedown, and just absolutely runs through Renato Moicano the same way he did Charles Oliveira. Either way, I am glad this fight is staying on the card. I feel bad for Beneil Dariush. He is not getting an opponent. They confirmed we're going to give him a check. It's not his fault, and he's just going to be able to enjoy the fights and not actually fight. When we get additional odds, we'll run from there. Right now, the opening odds for this fight were -600 for Islam Makhachev, +475 for Renato Moicano. By the time you're watching this, or by the time these odds hit your sportsbook, they're going to be much wider than that. There's not a doubt in my mind that Islam Makhachev is going to end up a -1500 before fight night. And honestly, anything under -6, -7, -8, -9, I will likely bet, throw into some parlays and make something happen. This is an unfortunate twist of fate, but the reality is this is the fight game. Happy that we got a replacement. I would rather watch Islam fight somebody than not. I would rather watch Renato Moicano fight somebody than not. All the credit in the world to Renato Moicano for stepping up on short notice. I wouldn't mind a phenomenal upset. I have no money on this fight. My parlay that had Islam in it was canceled. They just adjust the odds and Islam is gone. If Renato Moicano pulls off the biggest upset in UFC history, because I do think this will be bigger than Holly Holm taking on Ronda Rousey. If Renato Moicano pulls that off, what a night that we have, guys. Either way, I'm looking forward to this fight card. It's going to be a great night of fights. If you're not a premium member, become one. We have already updated the website with the odds. We're going to get updated bets, and everything will be there for you. If you have not downloaded the app, download the app. You're going to want push notifications during the chaos that is the after hours of all of this. You can search the App Store for We Want Picks and download the app. Keep your notifications on, and we will continue to push them to you. Check out the website for any updates, additional bets, or anything to that effect. That's WeWantPicks.com. Thanks for the watch, guys. Good luck, and enjoy the fights as much as I will.